Now, I don't want to make light of this terrible situation that has caused so much death and suffering in the world. The pain and grief that so many people have and are going through is extremely serious and very real. However, the practices that are being put in place to deal with the existence of this virus in the world are very good and were something that were needed to have been put in place before, but this current situation is kind of a kick in the pants to the US. Like, for example, number one, the standard expectation for cleanliness for everything in the world has increased dramatically. Where this really should have been all along. Public services are being sterilized daily. Hand washing is encouraged to the point where I can't believe it wasn't before. And obviously now masks are a thing. I cannot believe I used to think they were a weird idea and I said so publicly. In America, you don't wear a mask unless you're like in a hospital. Please keep your spit and germs to yourself, please. Thank you. And to be honest, speaking of masks, they hide my insecurities. Look, I'm gonna be straight with you. Unlike my teeth, which have been crooked my entire life. That was not in the script. I'm proud of that, though. And not gonna lie, that thought is always popping up in the back of my mind whenever I smile at someone. And not to mention they, match my t-shirt. Fun fact that I don't think I've told anyone before. I used to use those teeth whitening strips every day until they wore away at my enamel so much that I could barely drink water without being in pain. And that's when I knew that it was time to stop, and I haven't touched them since. Over the past couple weeks, I've started like gargling hydrogen peroxide before I actually brush my teeth, which seems to help, except it does dry out my mouth, which then leads to bad breath. But wonder of wonders, miracle of miracles, there is now, ow, jeez. Can I get an instant replay on what just happened?
There is now, ow.
There is an item of clothing now that is not just accepted, but is critical right now that hides both of those issues. The confidence that a mask gives me is probably not healthy. Look, when I can afford to properly deal with my teeth, I will. Until then, catch me never revealing my chin again. Number 3. I am an extrovert with people I know. There is nothing worse than forcing a conversation with a stranger in like a public place, right? Like when you're trapped together inside of an elevator or passing on the sidewalk. And now, thanks to social distancing, the actually polite thing to do is to literally shut your mouth and give them space. I can immediately cross the street when I see somebody coming and it's considered polite. At least, I hope that's how they understand it. Number 4, the majority of my friends have been and continue to be spread out across the country, and I communicate with them mostly via like video calls or social media. Now this obviously hasn't changed, but what has changed is that there are no more annoying comments about how they're not real friends. Welcome to our struggles, rest of the world. I never want to hear about fake friendships again just because I can't interact with them physically anymore. How about now? Can you guys see me okay? Number 5, the flaws of capitalism have never been laid more bare. I am not going to continue expanding on that in this video, I just wanted to mention it. Number 6, despite the extremely vocal and incredibly dangerous groups that seem to think that being encouraged to cover your nose and mouth in public out of a respect for others is government oppression! Despite turning an intentional blind eye to the actual horrific oppression being committed by this country to its own citizens and others in the past and present, it's honestly encouraging to see most people trying to do the right thing. In the words of every celebrity back in March, we are all in this together. And it is honestly refreshing for my soul to see how many people do care and look out for others. And while the US may refuse to implement the fix, for the most part, us actual citizens are trying. So while the effects of the virus are nothing but pain, suffering, and death, my hope is that the daily habits of regular people are changing for the better, and this will be passed on to future generations and will lead to a better, cleaner, more healthy future. I squirted hydrogen peroxide directly onto the back of my throat. I'm gonna be feeling that for the next 20 minutes. And I'm really hoping that this video is not tone deaf.